Hi, welcome to my channel, My Great Wall of Manga. I'm Amanda, and I've been in love with manga for well over a decade. In fact, I even built a wall out of it. On this channel, I'll be pulling a series off the wall at random, and we'll go over a quick summary, introduce you to some of the main characters of the series, and I'll give you 5 reasons why you should read this manga. Okay, in this episode, we're going to be looking at the manga Penguin Revolution. Story and art by Sakura Tsukuba. Okay, the story is about a high school girl named Yukari. And she kind of lives in a family with some very shaky finances. Also, she has the ability to just take one look at somebody and be able to tell their potential for becoming famous. She literally sees wings on their backs, and the bigger, more spectacular the wings, the more of a star, or the bigger the star they're going to become. One day, when she's going to school, she sees 2 students walk by, a boy and a girl. And their wings are huge, like outstandingly huge. And not much later, she sees one of the winged students getting harassed by somebody. And it's the girl student, and so she steps in thinking she's going to defend this poor girl that's being harassed. Well, it ends up the other girl that defends Yukari. And in the process, the poor girl ends up getting splashed with water. So Yukari, feeling bad that her heroic endeavors totally didn't work, and the other girl ended up getting drenched, she loaned the girl some spare clothes. And of course, a la manga trope, Yukari ends up walking in on the girl while she's getting dressed, and ends up the girl isn't actually a girl, it's a guy. He's playing a role, and he's actually a wannabe actor. He's in a talent agency, he just hasn't really gotten his big debut yet. Well, kind of as payment for Yukari not saying anything about the fact that, everybody thinks he's a girl, and in fact he's a guy, he offers Yukari a job as his manager. That looks like a pretty promising, or at least a very stable way of making some income. So maybe Yukari's family financial situation won't be so precarious. There's one little catch when they bring this idea up to the CEO of his talent agency. The CEO says that Yukari has to pose as a guy, and nobody can find out about their secret identities. No one can find out that Ryo is actually a guy and not a girl, and nobody can find out that Yukari is actually a girl and not a guy. And so they totally agree to it. And another little hiccup is Yukari needs to live with Ryo, the actor. And so Yukari's thinking, well, sleeping in the park isn't that bad. It was fine if I don't live with him or anything. But no, this was part of the deal, so they start living together. Okay, now for the characters. First up is the main character, Yukari. She's a very resilient, hardworking, can-do hero girl type shoujo character that you find in so many shoujo. She is always optimistic, always believes that if she just works hard and is honest, she'll be able to make herself a better life. Very much like Toru from Fruit Basket. Never getting depressed, never getting down, always believes that as long as she continues being a good person, eventually life will reward her. Next up is Rio. He's the boy posing as a girl at school. He's a wannabe actor, and he's very much, personality-wise, like the boy next door. Very cheerful, very friendly. Yukari and him become friends very quickly, like within pages. They just totally hit it off, and they're in sync from moment one. And last of all, it's Iori. He is the top model and actor at the talent agency where Rio works. And he is super low energy, kind of aloof, very smart. On screen, he is ultra stylish and suave and sophisticated. At school, he's in disguise as the glasses wearing, scraggly, messed up hair student president. He also needs to keep his role and secret identity secret too. Okay, and 5 reasons to read Penguin Revolution. Number 1. Another manga about the acting and performance industry in Japan, which can be really fascinating. And though there is, a bit of manga about it, this is more into like the hierarchy of the acting world in Japan, kind of limitations and obstacles people might face simply because they started out with a less important or impressive background, or maybe they just haven't had their big debut yet. And so that kind of is interesting. Number 2, it is definitely a fun gender bender that doesn't go too overboard with it. It's more of lots of different, the same 3 characters you know and love, but lots of different cosplaying and that kind of stuff in the series. It can be very interesting and actually kind of funny. Number 3, it has some romance vibes, but it's not really a romance. It's more of a coming of age and reaching your goals in your given career type manga. So yes, there is some undertone subplots with romance in it, but it's not specifically a romance manga. Number 4, there's definitely some magical and fairy tale elements to the story, but it's not exactly a magical or fairy tale or fantasy manga. It's more of, it has hints and elements thrown in, but it really is a more realistic manga. And number 5, if you like the series Skip Beat, Beauty Pop, or Nosatsu Junkie, then you're definitely going to like this. It definitely gets into more of the nuts and bolts of the acting industry, like Skip Beat. It definitely has lots of cosplaying and transformation of characters, so they look completely different, like Beauty Pop. And it definitely has the actors incognito of Nosatsu Junkie. So if you liked either of those 3, you're definitely going to like Penguin Revolution. Thank you for visiting my channel, My Great Wall of Manga. If you're interested in anime too, please visit my website, animehanabi.com.